What if the world really did end on 21st December 2012? The fact that you're reading this makes it a bit hard to accept, but we think we can make a pretty strong argument. The first challenge we need to overcome is reality. We could take the philosophical view and point out that all of this could actually be a space turtle's dream, or perhaps more believably, a computer simulation. Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom's simulation argument hypothesizes that we're either in a simulation now, or people in the future aren't capable of creating one. 1. The human species is very likely to go extinct before reaching a post-human stage. 2. Any post-human civilization is extremely unlikely to run a significant number of simulations of their evolutionary history, or variations thereof. 3. We are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. 3. It follows that the belief that there is a significant chance that we will one day become post-humans who run ancestor simulations is false, unless we are currently living in a simulation. But that's too easy. If Bostrom's been right all along and we're all just digital entities, then none of this really matters anyway. TL South say Altis Del and restart the program, am I right? The most widely accepted grand theory of our existence is the Big Bang Theory. For whatever reason, about 14 billion years ago, the universe exploded into existence from a single point. When we think of an explosion, we tend to imagine something out of a Michael Bay film. But the Big Bang was incomprehensibly big. Everything that was ever going to be in the entire universe was contained in a single point that emptied itself out to become the entire universe. That's a lot of boom. Scientists believe they've witnessed quantum echoes of the Big Bang by observing fluctuations in quantum fields, as per a 2015 research paper by Blasco et al. It turns out that time functions fundamentally differently across the quantum and classical realms. Recent research demonstrates that both quantum gravity and general relativity could function in a paradigm where time itself exists as discrete chunks of space-time. In essence, this means you could zoom into the fabric of the universe so far that, like Ant-Man in the MCU films, you reached a quantum bedrock made up of individually measurable units of space-time. Physicists are trying to wrap their heads around the Big Bang because it represents the only single point in our universe's history where the same thing happened to everything at the same time. Arguably, however, everything is happening to everything all the time. Scientists believe the universe is expanding at an increasing rate as a result of the Big Bang, and that means discrete chunks of space-time would be either tearing, displacing, or stretching. If space-time is malleable and fluctuates depending on the configuration of the cosmic background environment, then that means our perception of time is almost certainly distorted in comparison to the edges and origin point of the universe. Humans, standing on Earth, witnessing the end of the universe, could theoretically see it coming for billions of years before they themselves were destroyed by whatever comes after the universe's outward expansion. It's theoretically possible that every time we gaze up and see the light that's traveled for millions or billions of years, we're watching the credits roll at the end of the universe. But that's still not very satisfying. If we're just waiting for a tidal wave of nothingness to envelop us all, then again, there's no point. And if there's no point, then let's use Occam's razor to make things as scientifically simple and plausible as possible. What if we're able to make observations despite the fact that we no longer exist? Remember the above line about space-time being malleable? In a universe where time is made up of discrete chunks of malleable space-time, the area of the universe where we live could be temporally displaced to such a degree that we're watching the end of everything wash over us as spectators from the beyond. Earth and the Sun and our entire galaxy could have been physically displaced, destroyed by whatever's ended the universe, while the wackiness of quantum physics could allow for the temporal displacement to simultaneously hold us in a sort of observation-friendly suspension independent of our own inexistence. The simplest explanation is that the Big Bang only took up a microfraction of a second, but the displacement of every single discrete chunk of space-time caused entire pockets of existence to erupt and observe, despite the fact that the overall consensus of discrete space-time chunks would agree that the contents of those pockets don't still exist. All of this is interesting, but astute readers will notice that none of this explains why we're claiming the universe ended in 2012. Here's what NASA had to say about that. Newsflash, the world didn't end on Deccan 21, 2012. You've probably already figured that out for yourself. Despite reports of an ancient Maya prophecy, a mysterious planet on a collision course with Earth, or a reverse in Earth's rotation, we're still here. NASA claims the world didn't end, but offers only anecdotal evidence. That sounds pretty suspicious. Once again, we're erring on the side of due diligence and Occam's razor. It's far easier to come up with a plausible theory on how the universe ended in 2012 than it is to explain what the hell's been happening on Earth for the past decade.